Now that we have pausing, playing, and stopping of audio, it would feel nice for the user to have more feedback on the exact functionality of each track as it's going on. Perhaps an icon hovering over each track would add a really nice feature to show that each track is playable. And why not throw in an animation to make the application all the more dynamic? Let's do that now. We need to add an extra div within the track. This div will be called track play. We'll wrap another div in the inside, and this one will be called track play inner. And then we'll provide a short Unicode icon for now of and hash 9654, which essentially looks like a right triangle play button. Great. Now nothing will show up yet because we still need to edit the app CSS. Let's just go ahead and tackle it. The position of the track play will be absolute and have a width of 220 pixels and height of 220 pixels, just like the image and the track. Our track play inner will also have an absolute position, and this is controlling the triangle that we're going to see later. We're going to align everything to the center, so that way it's in the center. Our font size will be a little bigger. We don't want a small icon. And then we're going to give a background color because we're going to have a black circle enclose our triangle. The border radius of that triangle will be 30 pixels because the width and the height will both be 60 pixels. Finally, we'll make its color white. We'll give it some padding top of 13 pixels. And then we need to give it some margins, so that way it's still centered, of 80 pixels, and a margin top of 80 pixels. So that should be enough for now in order to get a play button showing on the screen. So text align, we need to specify that it's center. You guys probably caught that as I was coding for you. So let's see Bruno Mars. And there we go, we have a play button. Now, we don't always want it to show up. We probably only want it to show up whenever we hover over the element. So for now, we'll set the opacity to 0, so we hide the element. However, when we hover over the element, we'll make the opacity 0.8. Let's see what that looks like. So as I hover, there it appears. But we can take advantage of a CSS3 animation keyframes feature in order to add a little fade in. So we'll call a keyframes fade in feature. And it's very simple. All we need to do is declare a from object looking syntax key and have it go from 0 opacity to opacity 0.8. And now we can specify that the animation name for this hover component is fade in, as we declared over here. And then we need to give this animation a duration, or amount of time that it should appear on the screen. And we'll say half a second. And check it out. Here we have it fading on the screen. There's one more thing. If I play a track, we shouldn't be able to see the play button anymore. We should see a pause button. So we can add that functionality now pretty simply. We'll have a ternary expression over here and simply check if the state of the playing URL is equal to the track preview URL. If it is, then we can assume that we need to pause the button. And a pause button will simply look like 2 vertical bars, which is the character right next to the brackets. Otherwise, we'll have our normal play button, which is and hash 9654. And one more thing, this text alone will not work. We'll need to wrap these within span tags. So span make sure I don't forget that extra closing tag. Let's save. And check it one more time as the JSX reloads. So let's check it out. We'll play. Now it's pausable. We'll play Locked Out of Heaven. We gotta pause it. And great, that's looking really nice. So with that, we have finished building Music Master. Excellent job. And we have a pretty fun application on our hands, I have to say. We learned all about fetch requests in React and how to handle data over the web, as well as some new concepts with ES6 coding and CSS3 animations. In the next sections, we'll combine our React knowledge with the Redux library in order to improve upon the design of our applications. Also, within the next portion, you'll find a summary of this application and the concepts we learned, as well as some challenges if you want to keep extending upon it. Awesome job! Let's keep coding!